Namaskar, I'm Nandkumar Palkar, a member of GIST Forum India chapter. To start with this webinar, let's have the introduction about the GIST. India is blessed with a large scientist and technologist diaspora spread across the world, contributing to the progress of the respective country they have chosen to stay. Quite many of them are eager to share their knowledge and experience to accelerate the pace of development of our country, provided suitable engagement opportunities are available to them. Vijnan Bharti, the largest science movement of India, initiated GIST Forum, Global Indian Scientists and Technocrats Forum, to provide an ecosystem through a collaborative platform to harness this wealth. The engagement opportunities could be in many areas like education, healthcare, food and agriculture, water, energy, habitat, infrastructure, materials, manufacturing, information and communication technology, robotics, machine learning, livelihood generation, and many more. Today, we are here to get introduced with the NGO Vivekanand Seva Mandal. Before going ahead, I would like to introduce Shri Ketam Rajaram Bondre, who is going to present Vivekananda Seva Mandal today. By profession, Ketanji is a media and public relations professional for the past 18 years. By passion, he is an avid follower of Swami Vivekananda's thoughts on a social work and strengthening India's national identity. By education, he has done his master's in media and communications, while his basic degree and diploma are from mechanical engineering. He worked with news channels like Doordarshan and Times Now, and was India equity correspondent in the international financial news agency Thomson Reuters. Currently, he is working as a head of media relations with a large Indian engineering and construction conglomerate. He is a dedicated Karyakarta of Vivekananda Seva Mandal, Dombivli, since 1992 and is currently fulfilling the responsibility of its chairman. His interests including poetry, photography, filmmaking, reading, writing, revival of Indic civilization. The organization is run by youth as per the thoughts of Swamiji and is active in socio-educational fields. Let us hear more about Vivekananda Seva Mandal and its work from Ketan. Ketan, over to you.
Thank you, Nandakumar, and namaste to everyone. Namaste to everyone who is on the dais as well as who are listening to us and viewing us through YouTube and Facebook. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, GIST. And it's a pleasure to communicate with all the scientists as well as technocrats of Indian origin, diaspora spread across the globe, including our motherland, which is India. Just would like to introduce you guys to Vivekananda Seva Mandal, a small dream which was dreamed by few founder members and which has reached to the current position where it is working right now in the field of Seva. So, as you can see, Vivekananda Seva Mandal was established in 1991. Few young people, along with a couple of senior volunteers from Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha, they
Ketan,
came
sorry
together during 1989. And
Ketan, sorry to interrupt you. The presentation is not visible right now. Can you share, please?
okay. Sorry about that. It's can you see this now?
Yeah, just give me a minute. I'll just put it up. Yeah, now it is okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So here is a story of a NGO which was founded in Dombivli town of Maharashtra in 1991. and which spread its seva philosophy as well as work through several cities and villages of Maharashtra through our work. So here is a story of that NGO. We started actually gathering youth who were like-minded as well as who wanted to do some seva for the country in the year 1989. And all of us were actually inspired by Swami Vivekananda's thoughts and principles of Shiva Bhave Jiva Seva, or in other words, doing spiritual seva for the masses through our social work. So, being a youth organization, most of our members were initially from the similar educational background. In those days, in 1989, 90s, engineering was a predominant branch apart from medical. So, a lot of people who gathered then in 1989 were from engineering stream. And there were two elderly senior members who were from Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha's fold, and they were our Sangataks, and they were really founder members of Vivekananda Seva Mandal. So, if we can see the broad timeline of Vivekananda Seva Mandal's history, here it goes. Uh, s- Before 1991, when we actually started operations, there was a pre-conceiving phase where handful of volunteers, about 5-10 of them, and two founder members, Professor Suresh Nakhre from VisitEI and Shri Mama Devasthali from Dombivli. His career was just a uh, meal worker, but he was more than that, and he was actually instrumental in gathering thousands of youths, knowing many people in the social work, and organizing everybody in a organizational form. And Professor Suresh Nakhre provided the ideological framework as well as zeal. He instilled zeal among youth to work. So in 1989, what happened? These handful of volunteers, 5-10 of them, plus these two founders, they thought, let us start visiting the rural tribal areas which are near us. Since they were connected with Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram, everybody started visiting these Vanvasi Kalyan Ashrams. And they realized how India lives in the poor villages. And despite of the poverty, they were continuing following their good traditions. At the same time, there was lack of development. And we being in city, they felt a responsibility and immediate connect with those people to at least be instrumental in developing them in certain ways. So in 1991, formally the organization was started. And as I told you earlier, most of the young members were from engineering background. They were actually studying engineering streams in different colleges of Mumbai, in and around Mumbai. So many of them thought, let us start with a engineering library. That's how in 1991, with 30 books, which is at the photograph depicted at the left hand side of the slide, of the first photograph, just 30 books we started with in a godown given to us by another organization to operate our library on Saturdays and Sundays. That is how we started our journey. Sooner than later, mass started gathering in terms of more number of youth were attracted to the vision of Mandal. Those were the days in 1991, 1992. If you recollect, those were the days when national mind was in a flux. There were several movements. There was Ayodhya movement, there was Mandal movement, and a lot of political churn was also happening. Despite of the fact that we were apolitical and not affiliated with any political party, the national themes used to resonate among us. Therefore, the kind of organizing youth through several awareness programs were another aspect when we started organizing people. Obviously, after reading Swamiji's thoughts, many of us thought that we should go back to rural areas where, as per Swamiji, true Bharat used to live. And since most pristine values of Bharat civilization were preserved in the rural areas, we need to go there, spread education, spread development, work for their upliftment, and also seek our own spiritual progress. That was overall mantra of Swami Vivekananda. Therefore, we also thought, let us start visiting several rural areas. And this is how seeding of rural development projects took place. We never knew that the number of villages that we started visiting, mostly tribal, once upon a time we will start certain long term permanent impact projects in those areas. So that is how seeding for rural development projects was actually put in this particular phase of 1991 1995. And remind you, we were actually very young when I joined Vivekananda Seva Mandal in 1992. I just passed 10th standard and got admission to KJ Somaya Polytechnic in Mechanical Engineering Diploma. So I was hardly 16 to 17, 18 years of old. And we were learning via doing seva through various such activities. Then in 1995, we got registered as a trust and society, full operational body. Later on, we also went for certain other certifications and registrations like under Income Tax Act, ATG, etc. And that is how the growth of youth organizations started. Then comes a phase from 1996 to 2005. We forayed in several areas of seva and social service. So one among them was, as I said earlier, it was rural development. It so happened that in one of the national awareness campaigns about Swadeshi, we were asked to visit 5 villages and do campaign for adoption of Swadeshi in those tribal villages. We thought that in those tribal villages, adoption of Swadeshi would be meaningless, and let us go for overall development of those villages as a campaign theme. And we campaigned for a couple of days over there. By campaigning, we learned what are the problems and deep rooted areas where we can contribute something and develop those areas. So that is how we selected a village in Shahapur Tehsil in then undivided Thane district. It is called as Vihigaon. There we started with medical care. We started organizing medical camps with a initial frequency of once a year. But later on, over a period, we realized that it is futile to organize just a one camp per year and aim for the betterment of medical care for these tribal men and women who don't have any access to medical care in those days. So we grew the frequency of medical camps. We actually ended up doing every month, we used to organize one medical camp, and that is how medical care started. Simultaneously, our women members, they have started gathering women in the village to fight the problems of poverty, problems of drunkardness among men, problems of uneducation, etc. And they started forming self-help groups. So within a span of 2 years, we started 11 self-help groups in that Vega village. Then we took the cause of watershed development. And that is how we have started Jala Shakti Abhiyan, Jala Sampadya Abhiyan, which you are going to see in the next slides. We also started working for career guidance of those youths who were our volunteers, and they were also striving to do mark in their engineering as well as technology as well as management careers. So that was another aspect. In the 2006-2015 period, we started growing and expanding in various directions. The first and foremost project that was taken up by our founder, Mama Devastai, and under his leadership, everybody of us, that was building up of a Jnana Mandir. And this Jnana Mandir was dreamed to have a library which was full-fledged. Then there was a study center where 80 to 100 students could study, and it will act as a head office of Vivekananda Seva Mandal and a place where volunteers can gather, discuss, plan, as well as volunteer for the betterment of society. So Jnan Mandir project took us about 8 to 10 years to build our Jnan Mandir. And today we have in Dombivli a huge 4,000 square feet building where we have 2 floors. Ground floor we have office as well as our projects for underprivileged students from municipal schools from Dombivli. On the first floor we have a study center where 100 students can sit and study throughout the 16 hours per day. no holidays for the study center, and a library where 8,000 odd books are there for the benefit of the members, students as well as professionals. So this is how Gyan Mandir was conceived in this phase, and this was completed. Another project we started in Dombivli was Nalanda project. You will get to know about this project later, so I will not elaborate on these projects. But Nalanda project is an educational enhancement project started for betterment of municipal and ZP Jilla Parishad students in and near Dombivli Kalyan area, because we felt to make a difference in the lives of people from Seva Vastis in Dombivli and Kalyan area. So Nalanda project was conceived for that. Then came watershed development project, Jal Shakti Abhiyan. Then came JAPE educational assistance. The JAPE is a Marathi word which signifies wings to fly or flying action. So this particular project was launched in tribal area where we found that students get dropped out after their high school completion. So we wanted them to motivate, continue the studies in higher education, in college, in graduation, post graduation, etc. And therefore we developed this scheme from scratch, and there we fund 80% of the expenses of any nature towards education for these students, and 20% of the expenses need to be borne by the parents of these students. Then came Career Fest 1 and Career Fest 2. It was a huge congregation of several companies, several educational institutes to motivate last year engineering students to take to careers and to select better career opportunities. In fact, in one of the career fest, we had organized interviewing the probable candidates for jobs by the companies, and that was a huge success. Then we started our own technology cell, wherein we started developing websites for like-minded organizations. We had started developing softwares for social organizations, etc. Then came the phase which is current 2016 to 2020. So in 2016, Vivekananda Seva Mandal completed Silver Jubilee. Since 1991 was a foundation date, as a formal foundation date. In 2016, we completed our Silver Jubilee. And till now, we had launched 3 more projects, and all these projects are working. So the work on these projects continue, as well as 3 new projects are being nurtured and developed. One among them was Swachh Dombivli Abhiyan. So Swachh Dombivli Abhiyan, again we felt that our head office or our main center is in Dombivli, and we need to contribute for the pollution-free as well as good environment of this second largest polluted city in Maharashtra. And this was the campaign as well as sort of initiative that we started by actually sweeping the roads of Dombivli. So this was started in 2017-18. Then right now, since April, we have been engaged in a work which was thwarted on every one of us during the onslaught of this pandemic called Corona or COVID-19. So during COVID-19, we have started a Corona hunger relief work, and I'm glad to say that we could reach out to many people across Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Madhya Pradesh as well as Goa. And during the Corona lockdown, we got special permissions to work on watershed development program in one of the schools in the areas where we work. So this was overall history, and these are the focus areas of Vivekananda Seva Mandal or VSM. So one is a major pillar where education resides. Under education, there are 3 initiatives. First is Nalanda initiative, which is education enhancement in the urban milieu, that is in Dombivli and Kalyan. Then second is Grama Shikshan initiative, which is nothing but enhancing the educational outreach as well as interventions in rural areas where Vivekananda Seva Mandal works. And the third one is JAPE Educational Assistance Program. So ZAPE Educational Assistance Program is a scholarship program, as I told you, scholarship to each and everyone who wants to continue their education after high school. And in another pillar, we have a youth empowerment as our pillar. So among youth empowerment, we have an engineering community center. As I told you earlier, many of our founding team members as well as initial period, most of our karyakartas or volunteers from the engineering background. Therefore, they've started engineering as well as management library, which still exists. And for the betterment as well as intellectual growth of this technocrat and engineering community, we have started this engineering community center where overall development of engineering brains and technocrats brains is envisaged. And then we have Yuva Chetana, which is nothing but all around development of Yuva volunteers who are not just pillars of our seva work, but who are pillars of their own families, who are pillars of national development, and who are pillars of their own self-development. Therefore, investing in our volunteers and investing in our karyakartas is the foremost activity that Vivekananda Seva Mandal throughout these projects as well as throughout this entire journey has been cherishing as a core activity. Then comes the rural development part. Under rural development part, we have majorly watershed development, where you will see in which villages we have developed watershed structures and watershed management solutions. And in rural development, we also work on generating extra income other than agriculture for the rural folks, including women. So social entrepreneurship becomes another aspect of our rural development outreach. And the last one is environment. As I told you, environment and cleanliness drives as well as awareness campaigns are our hallmark in Dombivli area. And Swachha Dombivli Abhiyan leads this cleanliness drive as well as environmental awareness campaigns in KDMC region. So these are our footprints. Education, these many villages we work, we have a unique drive, annual drive, which we called as Runa Mochan. Runa is a debt that we carry of this society as well as nation, and Mochan is one way of fulfilling that Runa, the debt. And therefore, in this Runa Mochan drive, we reach out to several ashrams, schools, as well as villages, and try to fulfill educational needs as well as their sustenance needs in this drive. Therefore, all these villages either do have our own permanent project or do have rural development self-help groups as well as Muse, or do have Runamochan Connect. So these are our geographical footprints. To go further deeper, these are our permanent projects where our Karyakartas visit almost weekly and connect with the projects. So Dombivli being our hub where the head office or headquarters is situated, where 4 projects reside. First is Jnana Mandir, as I told you. Then second is Engineering Community Center. Third one is Nalanda, and the fourth one is SDA. Then starts the rural development aspect of Vivekananda Seva Mandal's work. So Vihigaon was the village when I was in second year of diploma, and Nandakumar Palkar, who is also the anchor, he was in second year degree, and 2 of our other members, we visited this Vihigaon, and later on everybody started joining this village and started taking rural development aspects, which included medical care, which included watershed development, which included alternative income generation for these tribal people. The tribe which is there in Vihigaon is called as Ma Thakur. So these Ma Thakur are peculiar in developing, basically cultivating the subsistence agriculture, and therefore we need to provide them. We have tried many different occupations as well as entrepreneurship avenues for these people, and right now we are doing certain projects for entrepreneurship development as well as market development under Muse in Vihigaon. Then came Khorde. So Khorde is another village which is located in Wada Taluka of erstwhile undivided Thane region, and now it falls in the Palghar district. So this is the most serene and beautiful village in the midst of thick forest, as well as it's flanked by a beautiful river, and although it is not accessible. To reach there, we have to pass several district boundaries as well as several rural semi-tarred road and reach there. So in this Khorde, we have actually initiated agricultural development as well as social entrepreneurship. Then came Chindyachi Wadi. So Chindyachi Wadi is again in Shahapur Taluk of Thane district. Here, one of our affiliate organizations run an ashram school where 500 tribal students do study. So there, we have actually fortified the work that the Rashtriya, that the affiliate organization does, and we have started doing educational enhancement in this Chindiachi Wadi. Apart from educational enhancement, we have also embarked on Jala Sampada Abhiyan during Corona lockdown period, and we were successful in completing the first phase by actually storing 50 lakhs of liter of water, with a major software company coming to us for funding through their own CSR funds. So this Jala Sampada Abhiyan was also launched in Chindachiwadi. Then came the Andad. Andad is also another village in the Kasara region, and here there is a Zilla Parishad school which we have adopted for past 5 years, and we are converting that entire school as a happiness learning experience for the tribal kids. So the theme is happiness learning experience, and to achieve that theme, we do whatever it takes to achieve that. And there is also a book club. So now we will go and understand about our projects in a little bit deeper way. So education is the first pillar, and we will take a look at all the projects that Vivekananda Seva Mandal does in educational field in a combined manner. So this is an overview of our educational projects. We do both rural as well as urban underprivileged section education. Improving educational delivery is the focus. Educational assistance by way of providing scholarship is another area. Health and nutritional supplements is another area. Skill development, because after education, if they are unemployable, then the entire effort of education of us as well as them get wasted. Therefore, skill development is another area where we also work. Computer literacy is another area, and improving school infrastructure by providing computers, setting up science labs, providing book libraries, providing proper illumination as well as lighting facilities, providing solar power lamps, etc. These all are included in school infrastructure setup. So these are the problems to solve, typical problems faced by rural as well as urban schools where so to say the system is not able to focus in the proper way. The educational system by set up by government is not able to focus in a proper way. So there is a lack of motivation among students, lack of resources to maintain hygiene as well as continue good education, and there is no way that these students are get counseled as well as told what career to choose after they graduate or after they complete their 10th standard. So these are the things that we have started implementing. As I told you, JAPE educational assistance, 80-20 rule, 80% of the fees we will take up, 20% of the fees their parents will do. Then there is a Pustak Mitra library. We will go and conduct readers sessions. There are which I would like to share. When we visited Zilla Parishad school or a municipal school in a town, in a city called Dombivli, which boasts the maximum literacy in Maharashtra, around 95-99% of the literacy in Dombivli. In one of such schools where students from Sevavastis come and study, we found that even a 5th standard student or a 6th standard student is unable to write his or her name either in English or in Marathi in a proper way. So we started working on these particular problems and providing solutions to them. Through Nalanda, we had made a scheme wherein our volunteers will go in these schools on every Saturday and will hold an educational session by not making them fearful of the teachers. So these volunteers will act like a brother, elder brother or elder sister for these volunteers, and which proved very fruitful in terms of improving their confidence, improving their commitment towards education. Also, through Nalanda, we included and introduced the technology element, wherein we actually started giving them education through audio and visual means in these Jilla Parishad as well as municipal schools. Computer labs were set up. Then cycle bank was actually started. Then school infrastructure development was also conducted. Solutions implemented also included quality education and mentoring. We also started picking up the talented lot among these students. Therefore, we started nurturing their extracurricular or co-curricular activities also. As you see in the left-hand side picture, we started them training in painting and drawing by equipping them to take the examination of elementary and intermediate for drawing. We also started conducting scholarship classes for students of Zilla Parishad as well as municipal schools. When I mention Zilla Parishad and municipal schools, all the students coming in these schools are from the underprivileged sections whose parents are daily laborers or small-time traders, all small-time professionals who offer their services on a daily basis. So these kind of solutions helped us in reach out to many schools as depicted in this slide. Nalanda started in Dombivli in 7 schools of Dombivli, Happy School in Andad, educational enhancement project at ashram school or a tribal ashram school, hostel school at Chindachiwadi, and JEP educational assistance in Viga. What was the impact? In past 5 years, we could see about 450 plus tribal students, beneficiaries, could come out of the high school as well as graduation and post-graduation phase. We are proud that village which we visited in 1995, where not a single person was a graduate, now there are postgraduates, there are aspirants for civil services, there are aspirants for medical, etc. 18 number of tribal hostels and schools supported in Thane and Palghar district in past 10 years. We also were instrumental in introducing digital education in 7 KDMC and ZP tribal schools. I'm talking about the period when nobody talked about digital education, or hardly anyone talked about digital education. Now the digital education is there in all the government led initiatives, although the quality of that is much deserving. Also, development of skill development center at Andad for tailoring was also another area where we started working, and it yielded nice results. So 9 schools, 6,000 plus students, as well as 450 plus education assistance beneficiaries is the overall impact that we could create through this educational outreach of ours in this area. So the journey ahead is also there. It's an ambitious journey. We want to expand to 15 schools where underprivileged sections of the population, be it rural or be it urban, takes education. We want to reach out to 10,000 plus number of students, improve their lives, make a difference to their lives. Digital school setups, 10 in next 5 years, connect to the world. We want to conduct remote sessions in all these areas where rural schools as well as urban schools are there. We want to bring to them topmost scientists, topmost management experts, topmost literators, topmost administrators, to these people speaking in their own language so that they develop confidence and they try to come up in their lives on their own by setting the role models the way these scientists like you and technologists like you are. We want to develop a skill development center which has a lot of trades, not just tailoring, but plumbing, electrician, carpentry, solar maintenance system, mobile repairing, which will be utilizable as well as instrumental in changing the rural landscape as well as the Sevavasti landscape in these urban areas. So moving forward, there is an engineering community center. As I told you, it's a team which is working on creating platform for enabling engineers, building community for engineers, going beyond just rote bookish learning and applying engineering knowledge for solving social challenges. The problems are many. It's a kind of dated syllabus, which is far from the practical inputs of the industry, yet lack of application-oriented learning. Many students are learning on their own. Therefore, they find that there is a lack of mentors as well as community mentoring. And employability quotient is one of the major challenges where entire India as well as our Prime Minister is also working through Skill India mission. So this is one of the area where we want to make a difference. And the solutions implemented. We have been taking several camps, several awareness sessions, several workshops to actually give hands-on experience to engineers on technology. Our engineering library is equipped with books of all the major engineering streams. There is a study center. We run an idea factory where we come up with project ideas and ask our members to provide solutions. There are technical discussions and presentations and internships which are offered through this engineering community center. Solving real life social challenges is one area where we want to apply these technology skills in the Seva projects wherever we work. And thus, we not only just enhance the capabilities of the engineers, but create social infrastructure which is lasting and sustainable. So the impact, last 5 years, about 2,000 plus members from Kalyan Dombili as well as other central suburbs of Mumbai have benefited from this particular project. 2,500 plus students use study center in the past 5 years, and usage of study center is not only restricted to engineers, but it is also available for students of higher studies like chartered accountants, administrative services, medical, or even common graduates in science, commerce, as well as arts. So all of these people, actually students, actually take benefit of this study center. 75 plus socially responsible engineers are mentored every year, and 4 social projects completed so far. So 25 workshops in past 5 years and 2,000 plus students reach. This is kind of impact that we could create. Journey ahead, we want to implement technical solutions in rural areas to create sustainable online learning, replicating pedal powered pump in other villages, which we have developed, and imbibing knowledge oriented thought processing among engineers, which they can apply in their practical way of life. Now coming to another project, which is about social entrepreneurship. So Muse is the social entrepreneurship project. Mobilize underprivileged social entrepreneurs. So this is nothing but Muse. Mobilize underprivileged social entrepreneurs. So this is a brand which this particular project has created, which is nothing but OJAS, and they have been instrumental in developing social entrepreneurs. Vivekanand Seva Mandal take responsibility of initial seed capital, marketing, supporting them in product development, identifying potential markets, and distribution to these individuals. All the labor work as well as the logistical work has been done by the women as well as men who are involved in this social Muse project, and entire income as well as profit belong to these beneficiaries. Vivekananda Seva Mandal does not charge a single penny in this particular project, because ours is a Seva philosophy. So helping them establish marketing channels is a critical aspect, operating logistics, product development, organizational accounting support, and providing initial seeding capital. These are the problems to solve. No income after monsoon. Even the villages where rainfall is abundant, they are unable to hold the water down in their soil, and therefore this agriculture is only sustenance agriculture in the tribal belts where we work, and therefore increasing that cycle is also another area, but also providing them alternative income is important. Developing alternative products is one area where we work. Lack of technical knowledge to them, therefore we need to keep them training, skilling, etc. Lack of capital, we come there, provide them the seed capital. Once they start generating income, they then happily return back that capital for further development of another Muse project. So this is like a cyclical capital investment. Solutions implemented, we developed the product, launched 5 products in past 3 years, then making market available to them across the Mumbai. Many companies where all of our Karyakartas work, they operate the stalls in the festive season and providing market channels to these people. Connecting experts, we have a small network of like-minded professionals who work in designing, developing, testing, etc. of these products. And this is the footprint of this Seva project. Vihigaon is where we started developing the Muse in a much bigger way. Here we, as I told you, from 1996 onwards only, we have started developing self-help groups. And self-help groups started developing the habit of thrift, or collecting small time money and lending to each other when they are in need, and getting that money back, so that the entire combine or entire social self-help group started to sustainability developing their finance, alternative finance channels. The rural area faces a typical problem of money lenders who are informal money lenders, but they charge hefty interest, and due to which many of the households got devastated. To counter that, the self-help groups are operational across the country. So self-help groups were started since 1996, and we started giving them employment as well as entrepreneurship avenues. Here we started developing a product called Uptan. Then came the Andad. In Andad village, as I told you, we trained them in tailoring, and we also provided them certain jobs for tailoring, which were on a mass scale. So this was another Muse aspect. Another one more aspect of Muse was implemented at Khorde. Khorde, as I told you, is a picturesque village in the valley where thick forest is there. So in such environs, city people who are tired, stressed through their professional weekday work, long week working hours, etc., they would love to visit that place, be there, be with them, observe their agricultural practices, participate in a small way in those agricultural practices, interact with them, discuss with them their problems, and come back happily with a typical excursion or a visit to a village, which is a typical agricultural hub. So we started, along with another NGO, we started developing such trips and tourism plans to this Khorde village, where all the members who are visiting will pay certain fees, and with that fees, these people, all again tribal people, Mo Thakur tribe in Khorde village also, so they will find alternative stream of income for supporting their livelihoods. So this was another aspect. We also started procuring agricultural produce from them, which is required for city life. So this was another aspect of Muse in Khorde village. So the impact created in last 5 years, helping totally 11 self-help groups to generate about 5 to 7 lakh of rupees of sales throughout the year. And the product line included Upton, incense stick, papads, soaps, diya, oil and shampoo. And this is, we are continuously evaluating options of developing new products which can be produced by them with minimal technological interventions in those areas, and which can be transported back, and we can sell them. So about 200 plus families are empowered by this way, by providing them the alternative income streams. Next project comes about watershed development, and these are all real pictures of our work which we have grabbed over the years. So the team were very charged, and during the inception days only, if you recollect that the phase when we started seeding the rural development aspects in among our karyakartas, civil engineers amongst us started thinking about creating small dams or big dams in the villages where we used to work. So back then in Vigav, I remember college team from Visitia College and the professors, they visited this place, actually surveyed the entire area, created drawings, and handed over those drawings to us and told us that if you construct this dam, the entire village will have water. So that is how we started it. And then we implemented 3 watershed development phases in 3 years. In Viga, 1 watershed development phase was completed just back last month in Andad village, in Chindachiwadi village. And next phase of this particular watershed development will be completed next year in the summer. So the problems are, as I told you earlier, the rainfall is abundant in this part of areas where we work. In fact, Shahapur is called as Cherapunji of Maharashtra, where abundant rainfall is there. But the watershed development structures are lacking. Therefore, the water which comes on the soil, it just gets drained away in the rivers, as well as rivers drain this water into sea or ocean. Therefore, water doesn't percolate in the soil, and the aquifers lie dry, and therefore the water availability becomes a issue during peak summer years as well as winter months. Therefore, we wanted to solve this problem by offering the solutions of creating different water structures. So Jal Shakti Abhiyan phase 1, phase 2, we created a check dam, reconstructed well, increased water table. Then in phase 2, we built check dam to store 2.5 crores of liters of water. which increased the water level of Viga, where the second cropping was also possible due to these effects. Jala Shampada in Chindia Chiwadi, phase 1 is complete. Right hand side, you can see the photograph. Roof water channelization is created. Recharge of 3 bore wells was done and built a subsurface dam which is invisible in the photograph. So this is the footprint of the Seva project as far as the watershed development is concerned. Jala Shakti Abhiyan 1, 2 and 3 at Vihiga and Jala Sampada Abhiyan 1 and 2 at Andar. And solar at Khodde also we provided a different unique solution to that village. So the village lied at a hilltop, a small hillock top, and the river was flowing through the valley. So we need to the villagers, despite of the fact that the river flew around the village, they lacked the water, and the water scarcity was prevalent in that entire village. Therefore, we installed a solar pump with the help of government funds and a pipeline to bring the water to the hilltop. So this was so overall 3 crore liter of water harvested, 3 villages problem we could address. Water is available around a year, which is used to get dry in January end. These are the structures that we created. Journey ahead, Jalasampada phase 2 is still pending because we can only work during summer or winter, and therefore we will wait for next winter to start the work. Now comes the project, which is nothing but developing leaders, social leaders, seva leaders through the project or through the year-round activities called Yuva Chetana. So the main objective of this project is to develop personality of our volunteers who work in their own careers. Mind you, this is an organization where no full-time worker is there. So all of us have the day jobs, and all of us also do all these kind of constructive project work, constructive social work through our spare time throughout the week and weekends. Therefore, managing the time, managing the different tasks, developing the skill sets, developing the confidence is what is required. Therefore, Karyakarta Nirmiti. Karyakarta is that person for us who doesn't get depressed by the challenges around him, by the criticism that he receives from the society. At the same time, he doesn't get elated by the quick publicity or the pat on their back comes from the society. So that kind of equanimous Karyakarta is our ideal. So Karyakarta Nirmiti, who is also Karyakarta, who is also committed for nationalistic development, for for propagating thoughts of Indic civilization amongst the youth, is our ideal. Therefore, we invest a lot of awareness efforts, lot of study activities for our Karyakartas, and throughout the year we develop certain Vyakhyan malas for them. So as I told you, there are several sessions that we hold. There are outreach programs like Runamochan, Diwali Sneha Bhojan, where we go to the tribal villages, and those newcomers in our organizations are made to stay there, learn the way these poor people live in their environs, and pick up the compassion and pick up the commitment towards developing the entire nation. So this particular aspect is covered under Yuva Saptaha. Under Yuva Chetana. And Yuva Saptaha is a 7-day program when Swami Vivekananda Jayanti is there on 12th January. We start the Yuva Saptaha with blood donation camp. There are bookstalls in entire Dombivli which we run and provide Vivekananda's Swamiji's literature to all those who are interested in reading that. Then we take competition on topics related to Swami Vivekananda across colleges as well as schools. So the impact in past 5 years is we got around 125 new Karyakartas. So I say Karyakartas means who can spare time for activities and not just be passive members of the organization. There are several thousands passive members of the organizations, but we don't consider every one of them as a Karyakarta. They are our well-wishers, they are our members, but Karyakartas are those who spend some time. So 125 new such Karyakartas reached to around 5,000 plus people through various campaigns and awareness programs. Swamiji's thoughts were also spread across colleges. 500 plus bottles of blood collected, 500 plus visitors visited to rural places with us through Runamochan as well as those trips to village Khodde. Next comes the Swachh Dombivli Abhiyan. Now this is a particular campaign or awareness program which we started to change the environment in which most of us live. Many of our Karyakartas are in Pune, Thane, Mumbai, Kalyan, etc. But majority of them reside in Dombivli. And therefore, this particular campaign is there for changing the city environment in Dombivli, which is second most polluted city a couple of years back in the survey conducted by pollution authorities in the country. So it was formed in 2018 as a step towards cleaning our area and preserving Mother Nature. We started creating awareness among the people. We actually took broom in our hands and started sweeping the streets near Vivekanand Seva Mandal as well as area around. We started making people aware about how to change the nature of uncleanliness around your societies, etc. Then sorry about that. Um, so this SDA actually solutions implemented are about 50 such campaigns and awareness camps were conducted. We have also developed a website, swachhadombiliabhiyan.in, which actually guides people in carrying out their cleanliness drives in their societies, their colonies, or their areas where they live. We had done tree plantation drives, etc., through Swachha Dombivli Abhiyan, and the permanent campaigns are done through Swachha Dombivli Abhiyan. Impact is increased public reliance and effectiveness of a chain which is engaged in recycling the disposable dry waste. So we conducted a Bhangarwala Sammelan, which is nothing but gathering of people who are actually doing recycling as a profession. Then we have actually conducted several campaigns in societies, as I told you earlier, increased reach and awareness and provided one-stop solution to the residents through information booths. Schools are also started with lessons exclusively focusing on proper waste management, working in collaboration with KDMC over issues faced within the city. So we have developed this particular rapport with city administration, and they keep us in loop on and take our suggestions as well as inputs to develop this entire cleanliness drive in the city of Dombivli. And now coming back to the last but not the least campaign or a program or an initiative of us, which was nothing but running a Corona hunger helpline during the lockdown period. So in April 2020, we all of us actually started experiencing something unusual, which was called as lockdown due to COVID-19 pandemic. And in March, this particular Corona helpline started working with the help of a national level voluntary organizations called Seva Gatha. And the purpose of this particular helpline was to provide food and groceries for 15 days at a one stretch who were lacking the availability of food due to their lack of jobs, due to jobs were snatched away from them, due to being migrants in a distant land, due to being helpless or running like orphanages or old age homes, etc. So all of these people started reaching us, and I'm glad to say that till date, since April 2020, we have developed and a strong network to help people. And till date, we could serve about 4,500 people through this hunger helpline. And the three areas were chosen for by us to work in this particular aspect. One was basically providing them the grocery, 15 days grocery at a time. We could give them the second serving or third serving if they need. Then helping them in medical assistance, as well as trying to see if they can find out little jobs, etc. So having a strategy worked. So basically, there is a governing body of the organization which actually drew up a strategy plan, and there were 5 elements. Whoever asked help, irrespective of their gender, their caste, their creed, their religion, their language, their status of being migrant or non-migrant, nothing deterred us in providing the help. Building a system. So we actually responded to this particular problem through systematic development of organization. So having a system in place, then involving teams of volunteers in various tasks. There were 150 volunteers who were addressing each and every request coming from this hunger helpline. There were 150 donors there were 30 plus volunteers who were engaged in support work in terms of raising funds, in terms of verifying the cases whether they were true or no, in terms of providing assistance to the campaigns, in terms of gathering the funds, etc. And we used to communicate time and again with all the stakeholders, including these people who were actually asked for the help, donors, karyakartas, everybody. This was the organizational structure. There were beneficiaries calling for help, coordination team, verification team, case attending volunteers, payments team. This was entirely operations group. Then there were supports group, donors, communication teams, fundraising team, account team. Sister organizations were also roped in. We didn't work in a solo mode. We didn't work unilaterally. We actually requested as well as requested by 6 to 7 local level as well as national level as well as state level organizations which were like-minded and which pooled their efforts and resources to help 5,000 plus beneficiaries across Maharashtra. So the geographical footprint, if I were to draw, included the northernmost part of Maharashtra, which was Jalgaon and Nandurbar, to the southernmost part of Maharashtra, which was Ratnagiri, Sindhudurga, and even beyond boundaries of Maharashtra, which was in Goa. On the north side, we also reached out our help to people in Ahmedabad. Again, in the central part, we also helped to some people in Madhya Pradesh. And across the Maharashtra, especially the western belt as well as the Konkan area, we could not reach out to eastern parts because there were no requests from that region to us. But all these districts, these community were served during the period when they were finding it most difficult to find a livelihood. So this is how the Seva way of life is about in Vivekananda Seva Mandal. We take inspiration from the Seva philosophy of Swami Vivekananda. We are committed to develop this nation as Vishwaguru, as well as most developed country in this world in as many years as it takes to make it possible. We are committed to the way of life that our dharma teaches us to do. Seva Paromo Dharma. That is our dharma or duty. And we build systems, we organize karyakartas, we consistently train them, we make them committed, force to reckon with in the social area as well as in their own personal life. And we make all of this activity to earn the extra happiness which cannot be bought or which cannot be earned in terms of materialistic achievements. And therefore this is the seva way of life that we at Vivekananda Seva Mandal live and try to develop. We do not claim that we have perfected this way yet. We are students, and in our 29 plus years of existence, we are learning as opportunities as well as challenges come to us. We are developing our system much and more robust. We are trying to reach maximum number of beneficiaries. We are trying to solve the problem of actually dedicating more and more time as well as resources while we do our day jobs. So all these aspects are work in progress, and the inspiration is obviously Swami Vivekananda's thoughts, Bharat Mata, and commitment to Indic civilization. So with this inspiration and motivation, we keep going on. And with these words, I end my presentation here and hand over back to Nandakumar. Namaste.
Thank you, Ketan. Really nice presentation. This is what we are actually putting all the information about the Seva Karya. Many of the institutes, many of the organizations in India are working really with the Seva Bhav. And that is what we wanted to take it to the Indian diaspora. I know that everyone who is actually living, the out of India, they have something in their mind that they wanted to do something for their motherland, right? But there is no exact platform. There is no exact way they are finding. So this is the gist forum, you know. So the first what we have seen the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, then Sweri, and now today is the Vivekananda Seva Mandal. So anyone who would likes to participate, for contributing to India's development, they can touch base. They can first of all identify, select their areas, and based on these seva karyas, which we are trying to take it to your level, you can reach out to them, right, and get collaborated. And now, just start immediately, working on that. I'm wanted to actually put ahead the question and answer session. If anyone has any questions, please put it onto your, right onto the chat box. We will read it and we will communicate that to back to Shri Ketanji. I would like to ask Shrikantji or Yaluji Raoji, if you have any questions, please start over here. Yaluji Rao?
Ketanji, it is very wonderful, very, very wonderful. Just in terms of the magnitude of the work that Vivekananda Seva Mandal is involved, can you just give some vitals in how many youths are involved and how many women are getting benefited? And similarly, how many rural areas are under focus, and how many social entrepreneur projects currently ongoing? It's a 29 years work and excellent, and some of these numerical statistics, my hope is that going to inspire and motivate the people who are listening to this talk. Please.
Sure, sir. Thank you for asking this question. So actually, if we go just statistically, there are several statistics which I can share with you. The library that we have has 8,000 books. It has a capacity for 120 students to sit and study for 16 hours a day. And throughout, say, 8-10 holidays is an exception in the year, say Diwali, Ganpati, or like that. So 120 students capacity is there, and students come and study there. Self-help groups are 11, and about 200 odd women are there who actually didn't get the opportunity earlier to generate this kind of income out of these extra agricultural activities. Then if we take the count of students who are involved in 7 schools of Nalanda and JEP, which is educational assistance program, then Gram Shikshan projects at Andad as well as Chindachiwadi, then they will be in around 1,500 to 2,000 students per year. So, and there are scholarship classes which we take at our own premises in Dombivli. So 50 odd students from very, very lowest strata of the society are being transported at our library, and we train them, equip them for scholarship projects. We could generate income of about 7 to 8 lakh rupees for the women per year, and just by working in the Diwali season. Our wish is that this becomes a throughout the year activity, and past 2 to 3 years, our efforts are in that particular direction. So throughout the year, we have started developing certain products which will be available throughout the year, like incense sticks, soap, etc. So I'm sure slowly and surely this particular branch is also going to benefit. Now the problems there we face are product standardization, testing, and how to keep the commercial aspects of the entire efforts in the overall environment of social work. So these are the problem areas where we are working to make a larger impact in this particular social entrepreneurship. As far as the Karyakartas is concerned, I'll just cite the number of members. There are several members who are also spread across the globe who have been associated with Vivekananda Seva Mandal when they were students or professionals, and they are spread across United States, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Vienna, Norway, as well as many parts of Indian cities. So till date, since 1991, our engineering library had a pleasure of having members of about 12,000. And although these 12,000 people never came at one go, but over a period of time, this particular student community started developing. And we are fortunate to have about 5,000 plus students who were part of our study center, which started in 2010. And if we take a count of actual karyakartas, or say, so to say, karyakartas who were there with us, working for us, but spread across the world and cannot contribute in terms of physical work now, but they are our alumni. So alumni plus present karyakarta network is about anywhere between 700 to 1000 plus. So this is our strength, where we started with scratch, and over a period of time we could reach here in terms of numbers. I hope I could address your query.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
I would like to, yeah, I would like to take one question from Dr. Rahul Muskar. He is asking how and in what specific area could NRI scientists, doctors, etc. contribute to your amazing work?
Thank you, Rajesh ji.
Rahul ji.
Rahul ji, thank you, Rahul ji. So, way you can contribute is, as I said earlier, that certain of our educational projects want to develop the scientific temper among our students who are maybe tribal, who are maybe from the urban poor background, and we need to develop those science labs. Then we need to develop, in fact, make you interact with them will be our pleasure, because they need to know that students who studied in humble background like us in India are now going into different companies, different world organizations, and contributing to the development in those regions. So you can also contribute in that way by interacting with our students. We can also collaborate with engineering community center, wherein the engineering students who are actually studying in different branches, they can be mentored by highly successful people like you, by providing them the tips how to develop the career in scientific as well as technology backgrounds, as well as I think you can contribute to in terms of guiding on solving certain social problems through using the technology. I think these are 3 or 4 ways with which you can associate with Vivekananda Seva Mandal.
Thank you, Ketan. Shrikantji, do you have any question? Shrikantji, you are mute.
You are doing a wonderful work and
While
keeping all these.
Shrikant is getting unmuted, Ketan.
Hello.
No, Shrikantji started. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Shrikantji.
keeping all these karyakartas together for such a long period of time, 29 years, what is your mantra to keep them together and keep their interest level constant throughout this period, and keep on increasing the number of these karyakartas? What is your mantra on that?
Sir, very pertinent question actually, because any organization is as good as their volunteers are. And if there are committed volunteers, if there are volunteers which are really thinking and putting their efforts to develop the work by the Samstha, then the Samstha or the organization grows. So initially our founders took a lot of investment in us. So as I told you, I joined this organization when I was just a 16, 17, 18 years old youth. And I didn't know what is nationalism. I didn't know what is science and development. I didn't know what is social development. I didn't know what were Swami Vivekananda's thoughts in much deeper way, the way I later knew. So we have a process wherein a karyakarta is being first attracted, and we don't actually bombard them with all these philosophical jargons or the social development jargons in initial phases. We just attract them, try to put them in a working unit called a project unit, or try to put them in a Yuva Chetana where they can explore their skills as well as explore their contribution to the society. Once a particular trait in that particular karyakarta is found for contributing for the betterment of the project, society, or the program, then we try to cultivate that particular trait or a skill in that particular karyakarta. And we have yearly abhyas vargas. We call it abhyas vargas. These are residential abhyas vargas, which we take outside Dombivli. And there are several sessions of ideological nature, as well as informative nature, as well as to make the fundamentals of this karyakarta strong. And throughout the year, we have sessions like, for example, during this entire lockdown, we conducted about 16-17 sessions. Yesterday's session was given by a young Karyakarta on thoughts of Lokmanya Tilak, who himself is a PhD student in geology. So his passion is archaeology, his passion is history, but his interest is also working for the downtrodden. So this is how the entire. Also, I must mention it here. On every 14th August, around 14th August, we hold something called as Rashtra Pujan function. And in this Rashtra Pujan function, we have a 3-day Vyakhyan Mala or a 3-day seminars on which we try to bring in national level speakers, state level speakers, and try to define current problems in front of the country. So on 14th, 15th, and 16th of August this year, we are taking a theme of Atmanirbhar Bharat as propounded by Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, and as all the organizations in Parivar, including Vigyan Bharati, is working for so many years to make India self-reliant as well as Vishwaguru. So there are three aspects, and I'm glad that the first aspect is about the security of this country. Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni has honorably agreed to come and share his perspective on the security. He was the first person who was leading Operation Meghdut on capturing Siachen Glacier, Bila Pondla, in 1980, I think I'm 83 or 84. I may be mistaken. So Sanjay Kulkarni ji is there. I'm glad that Vigyan Bharati's Mahamantri, Shri Jayendra Sahasrabuddhe, has also agreed to come and grace us and guide us on civilizational or cultural aspects of Indian civilization and the need to further the thoughts on Indian civilizational wisdom. So Jayendra ji is going to address us on that. And I'm again glad on the third day, our G20 Sherpa for Prime Minister Honorable Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Suresh Prabhu ji, former Central Minister, he has also agreed to come and talk about the dream of becoming a $5 trillion economy, irrespective of whatever setback that we have received during this entire lockdown period or whatever the challenges. So Mr. Suresh Prabhu is going to come and give us the guidance. So through such kind of activities throughout the year, we try and develop the nationalistic spirit, the social work spirit among our Karyakartas. Challenges are abound, but we refuse to get belittled by the challenges.
There is one question from Rahulji again. Rahulji wanted to understand, do you maintain the database of these 12,000 engineers?
Yes. Barring for the first few years where computers were not available with us, say from 1991 to maybe about 97, 98. So 98 onwards, we have most of the database with us, and the database is obviously private because we we respect the privacy of the individuals. However, we also have the database for Karyakartas. We also have database for donors. We also have database for all these speakers who have come and graced us in several sessions.
Next question, Sheshnath ji is asking, any focus on creating and distributing ebooks?
So basically, as far as central thing is concerned, in library, we don't have such facility to provide ebooks, like where people can come and read on the terminal. But we do have several WhatsApp groups and material which pertains to Indic wisdom, to national thing, etc. Such ebooks as well as technology, we share freely on those WhatsApp groups as well as our own network.
Okay. Shrikantji or Yalujiro, do you have any other question? We can take last question now. Okay. Yalujiro, do you want to say something? Because your mic is mute.
Yeah, I unmuted. So, Vivekanand Seva Mandal, and like that, many organizations are working in the community. It's wonderful, very inspiring. The question I have is, Other partners, such as you mentioned that many companies come to the place and do some hiring or interview, those kind of things. And also, many companies have corporate social responsibility related funds. So, do they, on an official basis, fund Vivekanand Seva Mandal?
Very good question again. Yes, they do. And we have giant organizations which are multinational.
Was my question audible?
Yeah, Yellowji, yeah, it was audible. Yeah. Ketan,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
Yeah. So we have over the past 10 years, we have the pleasure and actually honestly have the luck to have our CSR partners in several of our projects. Sorry. It started with Jalashakti Abhiyan, and in Jalashakti Abhiyan there were companies from Thane region. They actually came ahead and invested their CSR funds in creating sustainable watershed development program. There was a giant logistics multinational company which actually gave computers and hardwares for various schools of ours. There was a giant multinational company which was instead invested by a United States based Omaha of the giant investor of United States. So that particular company has been continuing with us in our CSR projects, in our educational projects for past 3 years. There is another company which have started, as I mentioned, it's a Germany-based software company which have started investing in their CSR funds in our educational projects in Chindiachiwadi for past 2 years. So we have experience of like-minded companies also coming in front in sharing their CSR funds for the benefit of social development and beneficiaries. And it's like a win-win process. We offer a genuine organization which is committed, transparent, and which is working on ground to make changes there. And the best part about our organization is the administrative cost of running this organization is very low. In fact, our overall administrative expenses to run our office, to maintain certain staff for doing accounting as well as library upkeepment and study center upkeepment is under 5. It's just 4 people we employ, including the security is the 5th one. So and electricity and maintenance and taxes, etc. So our overall expenses to the overall donations that we collect is around 9 to 10%, which is very, very low as far as most of the trust as well as NGOs are concerned. So this particular fact encourages many companies, many donors who are non-companies also to come forward and invest their hard-earned money in furthering the social causes. In fact, the best part about our organization is, back then when it was founded, our founders told us, me as well as Nanda Kumar, who is also founding member, one of the earliest members. There are others who are also attending. Akshay Kulkarni is attending from UK. So we were told and we were given a sanskar that single penny, 1 paisa, then 1 paisa was also considered as a currency. 1 paisa for the society has to be counted. And therefore, I remember Nandakumar ji had spent sleepless nights because there were 100 or 200 rupees were missing from the audit. So, when it came, we actually contributed our own money into that. So the organization should not suffer for small little things like 100 rupees or 150 rupees. So that is one principle. Second principle was, we, all of us who are working in this organization and who are earning, there are students also who are volunteers, they keep donating every month, every year. So this is something like a good noble practice that which we have taken on to us, that while going and asking donation to others, we should be also contributing in terms of donation. There is a padya which is there across all organizations. Hum kare Rashtra Aradhan. Hum kare Rashtra Aradhan, Tanase, Manase, Dhanase. So we have to do practice in terms of work by actually giving time and resources, as well as contributing from money, as well as from fully focusing our mind on the work. So this is how the practice has evolved, and therefore I guess donors are actually attracted towards us, and we start all our projects with zero-based finance. There are no monies which are actually set aside for any project when we initiate, but whatever money is required, it comes with Swamiji's grace and God's grace.
Thank you, Ketan. Now we'll just, because of the
Thank you.
time limit, we will
Dhanyavad.
stop our questions. I would like to request Sri Jayantrao Sahasrabuddhe ji, who is Pracharak and Akhil Bharatiya Sangadan Mantri Vigyan Bharati, to say a few words. Jayan ji? Jayan ji, you are mute.
Yeah.
Is it okay now?
Yeah. It is audible.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to hear many things from Ketanji about Vivekananda Seva Mandal. And I think in coming Saturdays, we are going to get to know about more such organizations. We can call these organizations as nation building organizations. They are not just doing some Seva projects, but they are having larger goals for them. But as we say, think global, act local, they are doing their or performing Seva Karyas at their own places, but they have a very bigger vision with them. And I think many more such will come in this series of Saturday sessions. And we look forward to many such more nation building organizations to be part of this session. Again, extend my thanks to Ketanji to give a nice presentation about their own work. And I think many such sessions will give a lot of insights to our own people in abroad, and that may kindle their interest in getting engaged with many such works and Seva Karyas going on in Bharat. So that's all. Let us for more such.
Thank you, Jayantrao ji. I would like to request Shrikant ji to actually brief us about the next session, next upcoming Saturday session.
Now, in this Saturday series, we are very happy that Bhabha Atomic Research Center has agreed to participate and give the presentation on their Akruti initiative that they have. Akruti is an acronym for Advanced Knowledge and Rural Technology Implementation. So this is Akruti, and they have started it for many years. Now, wherever the atomic energy plants are there from DAE, that is Department of Atomic Energy, they have around that plant there are many villages, and for those people they conduct some sessions, and they also try to give their technologies which are implementable in the rural areas. And next Saturday, the representatives from Bhabha Atomic Research Center, they will tell us about their technologies and their also success stories wherever they have gone and implemented or try to help the rural people there. So we will be very happy to have another session next Saturday by BARC.
Thank you, Shrikant ji. Next, I would like to request Yolojirao Miratskar to actually give a vote of thanks.
So, Sri Ketanji, on behalf of all the people who are viewing this presentation, I thank you. What is very interesting is, among many dimensions of the people involved, you touched 5 major areas. One is the education, the environment, the rural development, the social entrepreneurship, and even more importantly, engaging youth for a nation building purpose, as Jayanti also mentioned. I was taking some notes. I can put all the notes and put it here and take all of your time, but I would use only 3 specific words. One is, it was very, very informative and kinds of puts us to think that in this nation building efforts, being far away, what we can do. So it is kind of thought provoking. Number two, the scale and magnitude of projects that are being done, it is simply inspiring that so many people are doing, and we should also join and let us see how we can go forward. And the third and the most important for us, as well as for all of us who are there in Bharat, it is very motivating. It is just the fact that from almost close to 3 decades, the things are working, and there are hundreds, not thousands of people are gone through this, and people are still remaining connected, indicates that in their student life, anything that has been done, the seed has kind of changed it into the staple, and slowly for a plant and tree, it is going on. So taking all this into account, our great appreciations as well as thanks. I will stop here.
Thank you so much.
Back to Nandakumarji.
Thank you. Thank you, Yolojirao. Thank you, Ketan.
Thank you. Thank you,
I
Nandakumarji.
would like to thank everyone that we are going to end today's session over here. We'll meet again next Saturday. Namaskar.
Um,